Hey guys, what a beautiful day it is. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. This morning I've nipped out along the trail all the way up towards Gull's Edge, and wow, as I turn that corner into Gull's Edge, the whole landscape just opens up, and today you could see out all the way across towards the North Downs. As I drop down onto the trail, the fields there, they just are bathed in golden yellow. It is absolutely beautiful, and that's only happened in the last week or so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some photos up later on the page, and you'll see that they just turned golden yellow and only happened in the last week or so. So the wheel turns, the year is unraveling, unfolding. The days are absolutely longer now, and you can really appreciate that. I know we really appreciate that. We're able to get out in the morning, and sometimes also get out for a little while in the evening and around all of our work, our consultations, and really feeling that, really enjoying that. Overcoming some big physical challenges over this last year, especially over the winter time, being able to kind of start putting in the miles and building up the strength. Each day now I'm feeling a lot stronger, and yeah, that's paying good dividends towards the end of the year, and a fairly large, fingers crossed, a large expedition that we've got planned. So many of you would have seen my post from yesterday, talking about the Cairn Stones, and at the moment I'm writing about the long road home and my story, and Scotland features very heavily in that. I'm kind of merging those ideas around spirit meets adventure, and kind of my story really, and all the work that I've done over these last 25-26 years. And the Cairn Stones featured quite strongly for me, and that post yesterday I was writing away, writing in the book, and it kind of took me back to a time, and I think you probably all experienced this, where you wake up in the morning and you just kind of feel really lost, almost really empty. Kind of feel it in this pit of your stomach. No doubt all of you have experienced that at some time in your life, and I can remember being up in the Scottish Highlands, completely in the middle of nowhere, waking up this particular morning and feeling completely lost, almost really kind of empty, and this sense of kind of almost despair, and it was such a powerful feeling. And I remember kind of walking out, packing up my kit. That particular day took a lot longer, and I think that was a lot to do with how I was feeling at the time, and I think we've all experienced that sense of real kind of lost, no orientation, no sense of familiarity, just kind of feeling really empty, and not sure where we are in everything, and where we are within life. And I can remember packing up all my kit, and it was a wet morning, as many Scottish mornings can be, but in the most amazing, in the most beautiful place. But I think what was really going on was that I was literally in the middle of nowhere, but most importantly, completely outside of my comfort zone at that time, completely unfamiliar to where I found myself. And it's a bit like when you've been away, or you feel a little bit homesick, and I kind of been really thinking about that, because what I feel that is a sense of orientation, or a sense of familiarity. When you kind of move outside of your comfort zone, you move outside of what is familiar, those feelings arise, and I believe that's kind of natural. And what's that indicating is that you're in change, or you're in transition, or you're moving outside of what you know. And for me, when I woke up that morning, that's exactly, looking back, that's exactly what I was experiencing, which was a part of my transition, a part of my learning, my teaching, the wisdom that come from that experience was so powerful. And I feel that we've all felt that. We've all felt that in some degree at some point in time. And I think, looking back, I was really, really excited about this huge adventure of going across the Cairngorm Mountains up in the Highlands, this solo trip, this solo expedition. To begin with, I was so excited. It's such a huge deal. I had all my kit, and so excited leading up to it, and packing and repacking. All those things that you do when you're going on a trip and an expedition like that. And then that excitement carried me deep into the mountains. And then one day I woke up and thought, what the frick am I doing? What am I doing? And you almost kind of have this realization that you are in the middle of nowhere. You are in kind of the middle of this situation and experience, and you haven't seen anybody for days, and suddenly you kind of go, what am I doing? And that's the thing. Quite often we move into change, and we're excited by the change, and then suddenly we kind of have this realization, oh my God, everything's changing in my life, and I no longer have any orientation. I have no sense of familiarity, and I know that's exactly what I was experiencing. And I can remember walking off on the trail there up through the mountains and seeing this lone cairnstone, and there it was, and I remember stopping, taking off my pack and dropping down next to this cairn and sitting there, and within moments overwhelmed with emotion and breaking down, and kind of really kind of distressed and upset, and this whole feeling of feeling very lost, this feeling of wanting to get back home, and where was home at that time, and this kind of huge emotional experience that that was a trigger point of huge change for me, and really powerful realization. But that cairnstone, I remember looking at it after kind of all the emotion had cleared. You know how it is after you've had a huge cry, you feel kind of quite lighter, and almost a sense of peace washes over you. And I remember kind of looking at this cairnstone and then laughing and realizing that I really wasn't alone. And actually I wasn't alone, as you'll see in the long road home, when I get that completed and finished. I really wasn't alone. I looked at this cairnstone and realized that actually another human being, or another many human beings have been to this spot, and actually there was life. And I remember recently listening to something that Bear Grylls said. He said something along the lines of it's raw, it's wild, it's life, and the great outdoors absolutely does. It kind of strips back all of those layers and kind of leaves you in touch with your raw feelings, your raw emotion. It's such a powerful teacher. And I remember just kind of taking one of the stones off the top of a very small stone off the top of a cairn and replacing it with another stone. And it was kind of, in a way, I've carried that with me. I've carried that experience with me, and I still have that stone somewhere within my little box that I've got of special things. And I've kind of at times kind of held on to that and looked at that stone, and it'd be a constant reminder that when we're in that kind of place of feeling really, really lost and unfamiliar, to kind of try and anchor ourselves that we are in transition and change, and feeling lost is not always a bad thing. So I'm going to leave that with you guys. I'm going to sit and enjoy this place. There's a really, really lovely little pond here, not very far from home, somewhere that Sarah and I have brought our little boy, and it's a kind of little special place to us. And I think, again, that's another thing. I sat here for a moment before I started recording and thought to myself, I could almost hear him, and hear him and his laughter, and him running along this log that I'm sitting on. And I think that there are places that are kind of special to us, that give us a sense of belonging. And in a way, you know, when we find that sense of belonging inside, it doesn't matter where we are, we feel whole and we have that feeling of belonging. So I'm going to leave that with you. Wish you all the most wonderful day, and speak to you all soon. Bye guys, bye.